Hello friends, welcome to another fascinating video of Wisdom Zone. This is Shubro, and as you have guessed it from the thumbnail, today we are going to learn about a topic which is widely discussed and also talked about. So before moving further, if you haven't subscribed to Wisdom Zone, please subscribe to my channel Wisdom Zone to get more informative videos on job interviews, IELTS training, presentation skills, advanced communication, spoken English, and various other life skills. So let's get started. So, how to describe your family? So, before that, we are also going to see the scope of this topic, because you can be asked this in job interviews, IELTS speaking test, or TOEFL test, or in your webinar you're attending, right? And apart from that, we are also going to discuss types of family, vocabulary that can be used, phrases, and also common mistakes people make, right? So as you see at first on your screen, types of family, there are primarily three types. First is nuclear family, or we can also say a conjugal family, as you see on your screen, or you can also use the word elementary family. That means an elementary family is also called a nuclear family or a conjugal family. So you can use either one of them, right? Nuclear, conjugal, or elementary. So up next we have number 2, that is joint family, which is also common, where you live with your grandparents, uncle, aunt, cousins. So we can also use the word extended family in case of joint family. So we can say I belong to a joint family, or I belong to an extended family. So, and the third one, which is slightly uncommon, but it is becoming common nowadays, that is reconstituted family, or we can also say a blended family. As you see on your screen, blended family, or we can use another term, that is a step family. Okay, so this type of family where a person, after getting divorced, moves in with some other person. So let us turn our attention to the first type, that is nuclear family. We can also use the word conjugal family, as you see on your screen, nuclear family, conjugal family, or you can say an elementary family. So you can use either one of them, nuclear, conjugal, or elementary. So you see, I have given an example here how to describe a nuclear family. On your screen, you start with the number of members, okay? And before that, you also need to state the nature of your family. As you see here on your screen, I am from a nuclear family, or conjugal family, or an elementary family. Then you mention the number of members. My family consists of 4 members. Then you mention who are there: me, my father, my mother, and my elder brother. And if you have a younger brother, you can say I have a younger brother or my younger brother, but do not say only brother. Up next, you need to mention the profession of your family members. As you see, you mention your father's occupation. On your screen, you can say my father is a doctor and is working in Vapi State General Hospital. And then you can mention your mother's profession, and if she's not working, you can say my mother is a housewife, or better to use the word homemaker. And at last, you mention your brother or elder brother's profession. As you see here on the screen, an example is given. My other brother is a software developer and is working for Roy and Smith Software Solution. So this is the way you should describe a nuclear family or you can use conjugal family, or you can use the word elementary. Okay. So up next, let us turn our attention towards the second type of family, that is joint family. As you see on your screen, you can mention joint family, or you can use the term an extended family. As you see on your screen, joint family or extended family. Okay. So at first you mention the nature of your family. As you see on your screen, it is mentioned I am from a joint family or an extended family. Then you mention the number of members in your family. As you see on your screen, my family consists of 6 members. If you have more than 6, you can mention that 7 members or 8 members. Then you mention who are there: me, my father, my mother, my grandfather, and obviously if you have uncle and aunt, you can mention that my uncle and my aunt. Then you mention their occupation one by one. As you see, at first you mention your father's occupation. My father is a singer in this example. And second, as you see, your mother's occupation. My mother is a teacher. Then your grandfather. As you see, my grandfather is a retired doctor. If your grandfather is a retired person. Then at last you mention about your uncle and aunt. So as you see on your screen, my uncle is a painter and my aunt is a homemaker. And you can use the term housewife, but I have already advised that it's better to use the term homemaker. That sounds more professional. Okay, so that's all about a joint family or an extended family. Alright. So at last, let us turn our attention towards the third type and the last type of family, that is reconstituted family. As you see on your screen, a reconstituted family, or we can use the term a blended family, or you can also use the term a step family, where I have already discussed where an individual after getting divorced remarries another person and moves in with his or her children. So in this case, I have mentioned about a person who is living with his stepmother and stepsister, right? As you see on your screen, you start by mentioning the nature of family. As you see on your screen, I am from a reconstituted family or a blended family, or you can use the term a step family. Then you state the number of members you have in your family at present, including your stepsister or stepmother, that my family consists of 4 members in this example. Then you mention who are there. As you see on your screen, you one by one mention me. Then you mention my stepmother, if you're living with your stepmother in this example, and my father and my younger stepsister. It can be stepbrother also. Then you mention their occupation one by one. At first it's mentioned over here, my father is the founder and sole proprietor of Max Builders, your father's occupation. Then your stepmother's profession, that my stepmother is a private tutor in this example. And at last you mention about your stepsister or stepbrother. As you see in this example, it is mentioned my younger stepsister is pursuing mass communication from Zen Institute of Mass Communication and Media. So that's the way you should describe a reconstituted family or a blended family or a step family. So another important thing is that if you want to directly say that I belong to a reconstituted family or a blended family or a step family, you can directly say that using the phrase belong to. In that case, you just omit I am from. You directly say I belong to a reconstituted family or a blended family or a step family, and you omit I am from. So both are correct. Okay. So at last, let us turn our attention towards the most common mistakes people make while describing their family. And as a trainer, I have seen these mistakes commonly made by students. So let's discuss them one by one. As you see on your screen, the first thing is that sometimes I have seen candidates and the students, they use the word big brother. Okay, that my family consists of 4 members, me, my father, my mother, and my big brother. So do not use the word big brother. It should be elder brother. Okay, and obviously sometimes I have seen the same other type of mistake saying little brother So do not say little brother or small brother, you have to say younger brother. So my family consists of 4 members: me, my father, my mother, my younger brother, or my elder brother. The second type of mistake which I have mentioned, which is also very common, sometimes people say I belong to a big family or a small family. There is no such thing called big family or small family. As I already mentioned, the right vocabulary is you have to mention I am from a joint family or an extended family, right? Or in case of nuclear family, you can use the term conjugal family and elementary family, but do not say I am from a small family or I belong to a small family. So it is totally incorrect, and this word should not be used. You should say nuclear family or conjugal family or an elementary family. A third type of mistake which is made is that I come from a big family or I come from a small family. So do not say I come from big family or small family. That's also incorrect, but you do not say I come from, you do not use the phrase come from. So you should say that I belong to a joint family, or I belong to an extended family, or I belong to a nuclear family or a conjugal family or a reconstituted family. You can say I belong or I am from. So both are correct. You can say I am from a joint family or I am from a nuclear family, or you can say I belong to a joint family or I belong to a nuclear family. Okay.